So today I'm continuing to try to optimize my Swordfish setup, and I'm gaining a lot more confidence in the range and reliability of the radio. Today I'm going to be testing 4 different types of propellers and also these patch antennas. So the things I'm going to be looking for is efficiency, response on the throttle, and how much jello there is or rolling shutter there is in the camera. So I've noticed with this Walksnail camera, there is actually quite a bit of, it's a CMOS camera, but there's rolling shutter and some jello. It's not terrible though, compared to the way things used to be with CMOS. So what I've been flying all the way up till today was the stock propellers, that came with the Swordfish, and these are GemFan 7042s. That's 7-inch by 4.2 pitch, and they have actually performed pretty well. Then next we're going to test these. These are also GemFan. They are 7035 long range, so a lot less pitch. The thing I'd say that's different about these is they're a lot more flexible, so I'm not sure how that's gonna turn out, so we'll see. And then next up is HQProp. These are the 7045s. These actually are much stiffer, substantial. They have kind of the least amount of flex, but I've heard are smoother for the camera. Then I'm gonna try these 6045 tri-blades. And they are also very stiff.
7042.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Propellers from AtomRc. Although I'm not running the AtomRc motors, I have a slightly larger motor with a lower KV. You can see the rolling shutter there back on that previous clip, especially when you're up over 45% throttle. These are really the worst of the 4 for jello, but they're really great they're kind of middle of the road for the other 2 things. Efficiency wise, they're middle of the road. Response, they're middle of the roads. They're not a bad propeller except for that jello. Yeah, and like I was saying, that you're under 50%, the jello is considerably lower. Now here I'll point out, so I'm starting to drop video bit rate there, and I'm still running just these 2 Mad Mushroom receiver antennas on my ground station. So I hadn't put the patch antennas on quite yet. That's coming up when I test some of the other propellers. So coming in for landing here. Next up is what GemFan calls the long range. Yeah, for 7-inch, 3.5-inch pitch is quite low. It was okay, and I've changed the antennas too. I've got one Mad Mushroom and one of the new patch antennas. But I could see already that the rolling shutter, the jello, it's still there, but it's slightly better. But I really noticed on response, the response really dropped off. I know the response is a very subjective thing, guys, but this is just my opinion. And especially when I took off, really was lacking the throttle authority I was expecting. Even up at, I probably had up at 60% throttle. I could have gone higher. The efficiency, yeah, was fantastic. I mean, here I am already 7 minutes in and under 1,000 milliamps. So I still have 75% of the batteries, you can see there. Yeah, you see that jello down there if you're looking at that rock face. Just it's still there. It's not quite gone. But as far as like you want to get a long range flight in, these might be the best props, but there's one other set of props that I'm testing still ahead here that actually meet and match that performance. Quite a surprise for me, actually. Not to jump too far ahead here. Yeah, so the efficiency 183 milliamps per mile. It's the worst response of the four, and the jello I kind of rate in the middle of the pack. Bringing that one in for a landing. So next up is the HQProp, the 7045. It's out of the four, definitely the highest. I mean, it's the full 7-inch and 4.5-inch pitch, so highest pitch. And I could definitely feel the response there. So it had lots of command, gave me a lot of confidence with throttle. And here, see it, 60% throttle. There is jello, but definitely it's way better on jello when you're down at the lower throttles. There it's not too bad. But there's a bunch more footage here to kind of evaluate. But look here at 25% throttle, there's like no rolling shutter, no jello. It's freaking fantastic. And on this flight, yeah, I'm running one patch antenna and one mad mushroom still. So I don't have the double patch on there yet. That's coming up. So it was, of course, the worst efficiency, but best response of the four, and better on the jello. Here I take a dive. Yeah, it goes like 83% throttle. I actually get up at 75 miles an hour. I haven't gone full throttle yet. Then I did a reverse landing on my runway because the wind was really kicking in from the east, the southeast. So then up last is the short, the 6-inch, but tri-blade. And this was a surprise of the pack, and by far my favorite propeller, and I'll be flying these as much as possible. I mean, all these props are good, but it had the best on jello. You do have to go higher throttle on takeoff because it's only 6-inch, but the response was still pretty good. And I would put it at like maybe number 2 for response, definitely number 1 for jello. And efficiency, it tied with the GemFan 7035 long range. So this is the GemFan 6045 tri-blade. Yeah, this is the one I'm gonna fly forever. So I have more footage with this one because it was really my best flight. Now I also have the double patch antenna, and it's usually when I'm flying up here toward this rock outcropping up here on the right, you can see, well, I dropped down to 14 megabits there briefly, but I was regularly having problems flying to this. So definitely the double patch on the receiver side is making a difference. There's still some antenna, I think, efficiencies to be gained here. I haven't like swapped out any transmitter antennas, but I plan on doing that next. Yeah, here the bit rate dropping to 14. For some reason, when the nose of my aircraft is more toward home base, I have a lower bit rate. I'm not sure what that is. And any viewers know, put a comment in I think just the orientation of the antennas should be the same, nose forward, nose backwards, but perhaps the electric motors are interfering with the Fresnel zone or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, you can see here, like there I'm at 65% throttle. I don't see any jello really. I mean, there is a little bit, but I think some of that might be my, that tiny little bit of jiggle, it's not the rolling shutter, might actually be my pan servo. It has a little slop in the gear, so I might look for a better servo for that. Now here I'm climbing up to the next peak further away, and I've never gotten this far with the video. Of course, my video is starting to get a little sketchy right here, but I actually made it up to this peak with the double patch. Still, yeah, I'm coming back down to 14 megabits a second there. So here's a summary then of the four. Efficiency-wise, the long-range 7035s were the best. And then the 6045 kind of tied, so it tied for best, the tri-blade, the ones that here this last flight. Response, the best was the 7045 HQ, of course, the most pitch. And the least response was the 7035 LR long-range. Jello, the 6045 tri-blades is definitely the best. Then next was the HQ, as long as you're below 50% throttle. And I'm going to stop talking now and just let you see the rest of the flight. Thanks for watching, guys.